Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 video here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming skilling boss, the Gates of Elidinis, which is coming out on Monday. Really looking forward to this release, and I wanted to go over all the stuff we know about the boss fight, as well as the rewards. They just released an article on the website yesterday, which works out nicely because I planned on making this video on Monday after my quest video, but I just never got around to it. It kind of slipped my mind. And the article is a good reason to do it now, since I have even more information than we did on that day. If you missed it, though, and you're interested, I did do a blind playthrough of Ode of the Devourer, which was pretty fun, and that's up on the channel. It took me a little under an hour to complete. You'll also see I am here on my old hardcore, so if you're someone who's interested, stick around at the end of the video. I'm going to kind of do a bit of a farewell tour of this account, as I'm not going to be suiciding it, but it's unlikely I'll ever play this account again, and he'll just be sitting here for holding the position of rank 2 archaeology on the hardcore high scores for the most part. But this is also my group iron on old school. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming boss. Of course, it is already in the Beasts tab, as it is available to fight in a sort of tutorial version one time in the quest. So actually, I don't know how. Have I done any of the Fort for N3 quest line on this account? No. Absolutely not. Haven't even started it. So I won't be able to try it on this account, but I did, of course, do it on my main, and then my other account I'll be able to do it as well, the tutorial version in the quest. And I guess if you really wanted, you could like fail or teleport out just to continue learning it. They've said, or at least I've heard, that it's of course not going to be as easy as the quest version, similar to something like Raziel, which is extremely easy in the quest, or maybe not extremely, but it is quite easy in the quest, and then the real fight is very difficult. Honestly, I think it looks really weird when it's face on like this, but then you rotate it and it kind of looks a bit better. Sorry if you can hear those noises going on. Whoops. One moment, please. All right. Anyways, yeah. But of course, as a result of it being in the Beast tab, we did see these rewards in here, but those were already gone over on Monday by people. However, we have more information on them now from that new article. Now, of course, if you haven't done the quest, then you won't be able to do the skilling boss, but you should definitely do it. It requires a pretty decent progression into the necromancy quest line, and also, I think, full completion of the Fort for N3 quest line, at least up to the Requiem for a Dragon, which I think, yeah, requires Battle of for N3 and all the way back from there. So yeah, you have to complete pretty much the entire Fort for N3 quest line to get that done. But it's not too bad, although I guess if you haven't started it, building the whole fort might take a little bit of time, but it's really not that big of a grind to get those done. And they also mentioned that you can go solo. Of course, they said multiple times during the roadmaps and stuff that this boss was designed around solo, but you can bring up to 9 additional people, so it's full. The full size will be 10 people if you bring all of them. And of course, as we already know, it's divination, crafting, mining, and agility to cleanse the corruption. And then there's new skilling offhands and some other things that we're going to get into. They talk about some lore stuff. They go over the mechanics of the fight a little bit. I will be making a video on the day of release, of course, both me going in blind and doing it and trying it out, and then going, and maybe doing a bit of a tips or guide video. It seems pretty simple in the quest version, but again, who knows what's actually different. It's probably going to, of course, be more damage in the full version, but how different is it going to be in terms of the mechanics, if anything? We'll have to see, but pretty much it seems like if you need to protect yourself from extra damage, you repair the barrier with the moonstone shards, then you cleanse the statue fragments on the ground, mine them, and then call upon Icthlerin to put the pillars up, which you climb as quickly as possible to slam the purified shards back into the corrupted statue, bringing down its corruption level. And once that corruption level at the top of the screen reaches 0, the fight is over. At least it was in the quest version. And if the corruption level, which is slowly increasing over time, gets to full, that's when you would lose and be defeated in the fight. Although From what they said in the Quest version, it sounded like a safe death. They don't specify that in this article, I don't think, but I believe they mentioned that that is probably going to be how it is. And then, of course, during the fight, the statue will be launching attacks and things like that. They are using the Sanctum tile markers on the ground for some of these, which are, of course, very good. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. So very, very interesting and cool. I'm looking forward to it for sure. The mechanics in the Quest I did enjoy. But now let's get into the rewards. Let me talk about these rewards and what my thoughts are on those. But I'm going to be right back really quick, and then we will get into those. Apologies. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, we are going to be jumping in to look at the rewards now. Of course, we knew a little bit about them before any of this came out from the roadmap, but well, more so the roadmap extended, but not really the details. The main two rewards, I guess, that you would call, the main attraction are the skilling offhands, being for runecrafting and divination. Personally, for me, the runecrafting one sounds much more exciting than the divination one. It is the blue one here. They look the same, but just different colors, which is interesting. It is called the Runic Attuner, and it has pretty complicated effect here, as you can see from the large tooltip. But basically, I guess when you get it as a drop, it'll be randomly attuned already to an altar, or maybe it'll be attuned to the air altar to start. But basically, it will grant you bonus XP for using that altar, and then when you craft runes at that altar, it'll gain energy, stacks of energy, and switch. So it'll switch which rune it's attuned to each time you craft at an altar. And it doesn't say in the article nor on this tooltip how much energy you get per craft. I assume maybe it's just one, but again, it's not outright stated. But every 5 energy, you'll get 50% more runes crafted. And from the way it's said in the article here, it says as the attuner gathers energy, it'll gain extra effects, and at 50 energy, it'll disperse all at once, and you'll gain a huge XP boost. So sounds like this will stack up. So at, say, 45 energy, you will be getting 450% more runes, which sounds crazy. If it does actually stack up like that, that sounds really, really good already, just for that first base effect. Also, it is important to note that this XP bonus does not stack with the benefits from the Demonic Skull or the Abyss. So it seems likely to me, but I'm not sure, that you are not going to want to get or have a Demonic Skull on when you're using this. We'll have to see how the numbers play out. But yeah, it gives 300% base runecrafting XP, which actually, that's just the standard for whenever you're using it. And then the Demonic Skull, what does that do? Demonic Skull effects. Let me see. Runecrafting, where is it? Effects. Wilderness level restrictions are removed. Yes, of course. Why is it not like... here we go. 2.5 times the normal amount up to 3.5 times the normal amount. So it only increases it from 2.5 to 3.5. So it is slightly better in terms of XP just immediately, because this is only 300% or 3 times as much. I believe that's how that math works out. So if you use the Demonic Skull, you'll still get you'll get a little bit more XP in terms of you'll get 350%, and also the chance of receiving Magical Thread is increased quite a bit with the Demonic Skull. So that is going to be interesting to see which is better for getting Magical Thread, because that's another one of the effects here. So yeah, that's of course using a Demonic Skull triples the chance to get the Magical Thread. So this one, of course, gives you a guarantee, but it's only every 25 energy. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I figured it was important to note that you will not want to be wearing a Demonic Skull if you're trying to benefit from the effects of this, I assume. Although I guess if it's just the XP bonus that doesn't stack, then maybe it's worth it to use a Demonic Skull as well. So you get the XP from that and the, the additional Magical Thread. And then you get also the effects of this. I don't know how they'll actually interact in that way, but we'll see. Then every 10 energy, you're able to teleport to the attuned altar. I assume you can do that just one time every 10 energy, which is pretty good. It'll improve your speed slightly. And then every 25 energy, as I said, it says right here, you guarantee 1 Magical Thread. On the news post, it says you gain 1 to 4 guaranteed magical thread. So I guess there's a chance for it to be more than just 1 as listed here. And then at every 50 energy, when it disperses, you get 300%. You increase the XP bonus from 300% to 3,000%. So I do wonder that if you can just use the demonic skull and then at the 50 energy, it uses this instead. It uses the 3,000 instead of the demonic skull, but otherwise it's using the demonic skull. Again, the interaction there is going to be important, but either way, it's very, very cool sounding. It also says that you can only be attuned to altars you already have access to. So if you haven't done, say, Fight Club or something, you can't get the soul altar, I assume. But there's also thresholds at 20 and 40 energy that will increase the chance of being attuned to higher level altars. So the higher you get your energy, the more chance you'll get like a blood altar at a high multiplier, so you can get a lot more of those runes that you want, as opposed to getting like something like Earth Altar or some garbage that you don't really feel would be valuable. Additionally, that is actually it. So yeah, very, very cool item. I'm looking forward to trying it out. Hopefully I'm able to get one. I don't know how rare these are going to be, but I'm really looking forward to the skilling boss, and I don't think I'll mind grinding it regardless, especially if it has good common drops for Iron Man, which I kind of assume it will. Then, of course, we have the Divination skilling offhand, the red one here called the Memory Dowser, and it's quite a bit more simple. Of course, Divination is a fairly simple skill, so there's not a whole lot they could probably do to make a crazy skilling offhand, but it is pretty good. It'll allow you to gather memories from wisps up to 7 tiles away, which is a really big range, I'm pretty sure. So you should pretty much always be able to take advantage of the fact that if you're standing within 2 tiles of the rift, so you can pretty much stand anywhere around the rift within 2 tiles of it, and then up to 7 tiles away you can do a wisp and get these effects. So when you're in that spot within 2 tiles, you will automatically deposit them into the rift, I guess, as you gather them. So this is even better than the Divination relic from Archaeology, which is level 98 Archaeology required, Divine Conversion. So maybe for like new Iron Man or new accounts or whatever, will be a better idea to maybe try and get this instead of having to grind out Archaeology, because this is even better since it's automatically depositing them, so you can just sit there and siphon the entire wisp duration and not have to do anything, which is a very big upgrade from just gathering and then having to go dunk them all into the rift. But not only that, you also get a 15% chance to receive double memories and 15-second duration increase to the spring. So yeah, this thing sounds really, really good just for AFKing Divination. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing this. Of course, getting energies is very important on Iron Man in general, as you need to keep those divine charges flowing. So yeah, overall, although it's not very complicated, it is very powerful and sounds like it's going to be a pretty nice convenience to have whenever you're doing Divination. Also will avoid you having to swap relics around if you want to go gather energy, which is another benefit that I think is very nice. Additionally, we have the Scripture of Elidinis. Of course, new boss, new scripture seems to be the way we're doing things at the moment. But with the description here, it sounds fairly boring, not very interesting. I'm not sure what it exactly means by a 17% chance. Like, does that mean per XP drop, per minute? I don't really know when the chance is rolled. But it's actually a bit more interesting than it sounds here. You will be just using it while you're training a non-combat skill to get more XP. So I'll probably use something like this while training Herblore or something like that. But yeah, if you get this chance to spawn, there's actually 4 different types of soul that can spawn. And based on the one that you get, you have to respond in a different way to dismiss them. So there's the Vengeful Soul, which will spawn nearby and float towards you. You have to avoid it from touching you, and then you can dismiss it. The Mimicking Soul will spawn nearby and will copy your movement, and it says once you have cornered it, you can then dismiss it. I'm not sure what it means by cornered it, but I guess you might have to chase it across like the entire map or something. Or I guess it will spawn nearby, and then you probably need to get it like stuck against a wall, where if you walk that direction, it won't be able to move because there's a wall there. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. The unstable soul will spawn nearby but quickly teleport around, and you have to quickly catch it in order to dismiss it. And then the lost soul will spawn nearby and wander around, and you need to give it some directions to the afterlife to dismiss it. I don't know what that means either, but yeah, so pretty interesting that there's 4 different types of soul. It's not just like a little piece of dust, carpet dust that spawns, or like all the other sorts of things that have this sort of triggering effect, Saren spirits, all that. There's a few different things. You're going to have to be paying a little bit more attention when it triggers to deal with it appropriately. And the different souls will result in different amounts of experience. So it'll be curious to see which one will reward the most experience. But yeah, that's that. Additionally, and I'm going to have to go switch prayers really quick. I can do that in Kadarn in Prif. But there's a new prayer that is in the normal prayer book once again. So, of course, we got Divine Rage coming out with the Sanctum of Rebirth. There is another new prayer in the normal prayer book, that being, I think I have it filtered. Yeah, that being called Eclipsed Soul. And it sounds fairly interesting. It's kind of a soul split alternative. And based on the picture, it wasn't clear, but it was kind of assumed from how it works. But based on the picture on the article, it is an overhead prayer. So it's very similar to Soul Split in that regard. Basically, you will call upon the duality of soul, it says, to improve your critical strike chance by 4%, and it will heal you for 10% of your maximum life points over 6 seconds each time you critically strike. So yeah, it sounds pretty strong. And with something like the new Divine Rage prayer, which if you don't know, you can actually activate this alongside Piety, Rigor, or Augury. And it makes it, I believe, at least fairly competitive with the tier 95 prayers on the curse book. It may even be better than those, but it doesn't quite reach the levels of the tier 99 prayers from AOD. I'm not 100% sure on how it all maths out, but basically this is going to be something you probably would want to use in a crit focused build, because you get that increased critical strike chance and then you get the healing. So it is a very interesting that they're suddenly trying to push the normal prayer book back into relevance. When did Temple at Sentiston come out? I'm just curious. Sentiston. Temple at Sentiston came out in December of 2009. So the normal prayer book has been irrelevant for 15 years now, and they are trying to bring it back with these recent boss updates. I wonder if they're going to do any more things on here, but these two alone might make it worth using this prayer book if you are trying to focus on critical strikes. I'm not super familiar with a lot of the builds per se outside of Necromancy. I know a lot of the time with Necromancy, it's best to use the Equilibrium Aura, which removes your chance to critically strike. So I have a feeling that it might not be the best to use with Necromancy, but I think something like Mage, which relies a lot on crits with the Fractured Staff of Armadil, unless something has changed, which maybe it has, I don't know. But I think that's still the way Magic is leaning. I think they would definitely want to use something like this. Now, the problem, of course, being that it is an overhead prayer, and the fact that it is healing based like Soul Split makes sense for it to be an overhead prayer, but at really high level bossing situations, you mostly need to have your protection prayers on, at least when the boss is auto attacking you, to kind of sustain yourself. And having this on, if this isn't on at all times, you're not always getting that critical strike chance buff. So that's another downside of it being an overhead prayer. And also, even further now, additionally, the Split Soul incantation from Necromancy, or Eldritch Crossbow Split Soul special attack for range or whatever, I don't believe will work with this, because it does fairly explicitly call out Soul Split in the definition of it, I think. Let me see what it says exactly. Of course, the wiki says Soul Split. Yeah, description, 400% of the life points you would have gained from the Soul Split curse is instead dealt to your target. So yeah, it kind of goes to assume that it wouldn't work with this. I mean, it is called Eclipsed Soul, so maybe they'll be updating Split Soul to incorporate this as well, in which case it pushes it a little bit more towards being usable. But for range and necromancy, which make a lot of use of Split Soul for damage, if you can't use it with this, they're probably not going to be looking to use this new prayer either. And also an interesting thing about it is they don't actually say how you're going to get this. They just talk about what it does. There's no drop of a codex on the boss's collection log, so it's going to be somehow, I guess, made from stuff the boss drops. It's not totally clear, but it's pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing how you're able to make that. And then we have the boss pet, which has a skin at 1000 KC. The boss pet looks just like the boss, and then when you get it up to 1000 KC, you get the blue version, which is basically the cleansed version of the cleansed of the corruption, which is pretty cool. Additionally, the another one of the drops for the collection log is the latent offering, and if you completed the new quest, there is an amulet of offering that you get as a reward, and you can use this on it to dedicate it to either fletching or crafting, which then allows it to give you more XP, but automatically sacrifices what you create with those skills. I'm curious to see how much more XP that is, because that's a pretty big downside to the effect, of course. And they also say, which isn't clear in this collection log, that the amulet will use charges, so you need to keep it topped up on charges to continue using it. I don't know if that's going to require more of these offerings or something else from the boss, but very curious. Additionally, there is going to be a skybox available from the boss, so kind of similar to Nikatra's aura cosmetic effect. This is just a cosmetic. I don't know why I clicked on Masuda, although it doesn't seem to be showing up on the collection log. The Devourer aura is on... Oh, it's not on the collection log here either. But I don't think it's on the gate's drops here. Yeah, this is the pet, of course, fragment of the gate. But it looks really cool. It's a blue moon or a red blood moon. There's two of them. I don't know if they... Oh, it says if you complete the encounter 100 times, you get the regular and eclipsed version of the skybox. I really like the way they're going with these cool little cosmetic rewards that they're including in new bosses. It's pretty fun, and it looks beautiful. So looking forward to unlocking that and seeing how it looks at certain places. It is, I believe, just this skybox that you can kind of see in the background, and then there's a red version that is the eclipsed version. I'm actually gonna quickly hop over and do the Wilderness Flash event, so I will be back in a jiffy to continue the article. But that's pretty much it for the boss. Really looking forward to fighting it, and yeah, hoping to see some very, very good common drops as far as the normal loot is concerned, but we'll have to wait and see on release day what those are, of course. Anyways, I will be back in just a minute. And we are back. Successfully claimed my Infernal Star rewards on my other account. And yeah, so what I wanted to talk about additionally is the Shard event. They are doing another one of these. This is, I believe, the third one that's going to be taking place. It was, of course, first done with the Golden Party Hat. Oh, no, wait. So the Golden Party Hat Shard event was a bit different, since that was just to get the Golden Party Hat. But then they had the Golden Cape Shard event, which came with the stuff we know about as usual to come with them now, which was the Infinite Porter craziness and a couple of other buffs. They also then did one for the Vorkath release, which was, I believe, a little under a year ago or so. I don't actually remember when that came out exactly, but it was sometime around, maybe it was in December. Zemarigal and Vorkath. When did it come out? Thank you very much. It was November, yeah, late November of 2023. So very, very, very interesting. They decided to bring it back a little over under a year later. I think the Golden Cape was also last year, though, so they've waited a bit longer than they did between the last two. Anyway, it is pretty much the same type of thing. There's going to be these two overrides you can get from completing them, which look pretty cool. They're for your Death Guard and Lantern for Necromancy. The Death Guard one looks very interesting. It's kind of like almost as if you have a bit of a shield on your arm. So yeah, very curious looking, and then the lantern is just, you know, different looking lantern. But yeah, it's pretty much the same idea. I think there's 8 shards that you need to get, but there's multiple that you can get. And then when you complete it, you will get gameplay buffs, including infinite porters. And that will provide you a guaranteed porter effect, which transports items to the bank while the buff is active. And that is obviously the best one by far. These will be available to use for 14 days once you complete the hunt. And you won't be able to like stop it or save it in any way. You got to use up your 14 days while you have it. Really looking forward to getting this again and using it on probably getting some gold ore stocked up and maybe trying to get the Balrog's sash brush or something like that. But yeah, also of course the cosmetics will similarly to Vorkath be added to the Gates of Elidinis drop table after the event is over. You can get the cosmetics that were from the Vorkath shard event from Vorkath, and you'll be able to get these ones from here after the event ends. Also from the event, there'll be skilling cauldrons. I think these were previously overload cauldrons at War's Retreat, and these ones will give you an extreme, normal agility, normal crafting, super mining, and extreme divination potion all at once. I assume Iron Man won't be able to use these, but that's probably something good to just tap before you go in for a Gates of Elidinis, or the Gate of Elidinis fight, because those are all the skills you need for that. Wonder how much effect those actually have on the fight. I'm not sure. And then additionally, you'll get a 10% increased rare drop chance for the Gates, the Gate of Elidinis encounter during the event. So definitely one good reason to grind it right when it comes out. And again, those are available for 14 days after the event. Or I guess the porters is the main thing that's available for the 14 days. I don't know about the cauldrons, and it sounds like the drop chance is just during the event itself. And the event will run from September 23rd, the release day, until October 6th. So I believe just 2 weeks. And yeah, you definitely can do quite a few different things to get these shards. There's a total of 12 tasks available to gather them. The main one that I'll probably be doing is repairing the Gate of Elidinis, and you get 1 shard for your first completion and an additional shard every 20th completion. So you could just do this for 1 kill, and then about 140 kills more will get you all 8 shards. Of course, if you're able to do it though, you'll also get the shard from completing the Ode of the Devourer quest, which is given to you on login if you completed the quest already. So you could get that one for free. Also, if you have an active Premier membership, you get 1 for free as well. So if you've done the quest and have Premier, you get 2 immediately. Fight the Gate once, you get 3, and then you can just do 100 kills of the Gate to get the Skybox and finish the event if you want. Although you might also get it from the Marks of War, because that's another one. You can get Marks of War, and you will be guaranteed the shard at 2,500 marks, but have a chance to obtain it beforehand. So at most 2.5 hours of PVM as long as you're capping on marks. So that's not too bad. You can also get it from training. There's one from training gathering skills, 1 from training artisan skills, 1 from training combat skills, and 1 from training support skills, which are all guaranteed after 3 hours of training in each skill, but a chance beforehand. There's also a new one. I don't remember this being available in the other ones. Log in on 7 separate days throughout the event period. So if you're logging in every day, you'll get another one passively for free. Additionally, you can get it from completing treasure trail steps, guaranteed after 90 easy, 45 medium, 30 hard, 23 elite, or 18 master steps, or any of combination of the above. So just 18 master steps, that's like 2 or 3 clues or something, right? Or maybe 3 or 4, I don't know. But that's not too bad for getting the one from there. You can also buy one for 15 million coins or 5k protein items from some guy in the GE. And if you can earn some rune score, you'll also get one from that. 200 rune score guaranteed, but a chance beforehand. And if you already have 31k rune score, you will earn it upon earning any rune score at all. So interesting. But yeah, so sounds like the pretty much the standard event. The login one, again, it could have been available in one of the other events, but I don't remember it. But pretty standard, and I'm probably just going to be doing the Gate of Elidinis for all of my shards because I'm really looking forward to fighting the boss. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this section of the video, I believe. Covered everything I wanted to talk about for the upcoming skilling boss. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. I'll be making tons of videos about it, or I don't know about tons, but making videos about it on the day of release. And now going to be moving on to the second half of the video. So if you're not interested in this, feel free to, head off, and I'll see you on Monday for the gates. But yeah, if you all don't know, some of you, I mean, I don't really know how many new viewers I really ever am getting, probably none. But this account, Fresh and Firm here, is my original, or well, it's actually not my original. I had a different hardcore originally that is like really low level, but I think still has overloads and stuff, but died in some stupid way. I don't remember. I think I died twice actually on that one already. And yeah, I wasn't super invested in it. This is my first, I guess, real serious hardcore Iron Man, and I have, of course, a series on this one back from that one has 88 videos in the playlist that I'm looking at right now. And the first video was uploaded in 2019, 5 years ago, in January, so even almost 6 years ago. But yeah, this is the first account that I completed the Chaos title on. Of course, I got it back when PvP was still in the wild. I did that immediately at the start of the account to get that out of the way for eventually working on all collections. I did not get the Revenant Dragon Pet, which is what I went on to do with my current hardcore McCheeserson. Of course, no longer is any of that really a concern, because on McCheeserson I also did it during PvP in the wild, but now that PvP is no longer there, it's no longer a concern to do it on like a new account. As a hardcore, you don't have to worry about getting killed unless you turn on PvP for some stupid reason. But anyway, yeah, I played on this account for several years, with probably one of my pinnacle achievements on it being I got rank 2 archaeology on the hardcore high scores. So I have 200 mil archaeology XP, and I am rank 2 on there, which I think is a pretty cool achievement. But unfortunately, I have died twice on this account, which you can view here, actually. I've used 2 lives. I've unlocked 3 lives. Once your last life is used up, you'll convert to a regular Iron Man. I don't really want to be dead on the high scores in my rank 2 spot if I can avoid it. And but also, importantly, it was rather demoralizing when I died, more than it already would be, because back then, if you died, you would lose like all the items that weren't kept on death. You would lose. They were gone. You couldn't pay death to get them back. You would just straight up lose your items. So yeah, hardcore deaths were pretty brutal, and that was the main reason you used to see a bunch of hardcores suiciding as they got to higher levels, because they didn't want to lose the items they had grinded bosses for if they ended up dying. But yeah, I lost a lot of items there, and then I kind of took a break from the account. The way I died, if you don't know, there's a video of it. It was actually at Virago, and completely my fault. Well, pretty much all my fault. We were struggling with a kill, and it was scop week, I think, and we were doing the scops, and I tried to barricade and intercept my team, which is probably not a good idea to begin with on a hardcore, but I'm fairly comfortable with Virago, and I'm not too worried about doing stuff like that. The problem was I had about 99.5 or 99.6% adrenaline instead of that 100% that you need for barricade, and it's pretty much indiscernible on the adrenaline bar above your character's head, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. This was also before you could teleport out of Virago, but it was pretty, yeah, it was pretty, whoops, I don't know why I started to put that in, but yeah, it was pretty depressing because, of course, I barricaded, I thought I had barricaded, and then tried to intercept them. I intercepted them, obviously having 2 people getting beat down by Scopulus while I'm getting hit by blue bombs. I had no chance of survival at that point when I didn't get my barricade off, and I died and lost quite a bit of progress there. The main thing that I lost being, of course, the, and again, okay, there we go, bank pin entered. I'm going to need it later anyway. The main thing that I lost was my Inquisitor staff that I had acquired on my way to, actually, I didn't even get it on my way to 200 mil because I was doing Warforge for the most of it to get the best XP. And I had to continue doing archaeology post 200 mil at the war table, or no, not the war. It is the war table, yeah, at the war table to get the 3rd piece, and I ended up losing that in tragic fashion during that Virago kill. But after a bit of a break, I didn't let it get me down too much, and I came back and started. I actually got revenge on Virago. I think I died around like 40 KC or something, and I continued doing it, and I'm up to 93 KC now. This was before the changes that made it a bit faster. Did get a seismic wand there, but overall, yeah, that's pretty much the story of Virago. And then so I came back. I wasn't too demoralized since I don't know, the Inquisitor staff wasn't the end all be all at the time, I don't think, or maybe it was, and I was just hoping it would later become obsolete, which I'm not sure if it even is yet or not. I'd have to look at like what PVME says and stuff, but either way, I came back and I started grinding on ED2. I did quite a lot of ED2, Blackstone Dragon 65, because after I'd finished Virago, I got enough to make Tectonic, and I wanted to make that into Elite Tectonic, which takes 840 Draconic Energy from ED2. On the way, I got 0 codices, which is pretty sad. But yeah, I worked on that quite a bit. And then, of course, you also need to kill Nex for the Virtus pieces to disassemble into the Praesilic essence that you need to create. So I had to do a decent amount of Nex, 253 on here, and that also required me to get the Ancient Ceremonial, which was a bit of a pain. But yeah, I did Nex and got 253 KC there to get the essence from the Virtus. And then after doing all of that, and also to get to Nex at first, I think I had to get my Serenic and stuff like that. I of course ranged there. After doing all that, I finally got my Elite Tectonic and was ready to start getting into PVM because I was, pretty much mage focused. And I ended up going to Barrow's Rise of the Six to duo with my friend. It's pretty much safe to do Rise of the Six in duo or even solo now. You can teleport out if Torag hammers you, and it's not a big deal. And of course, during that fateful Rots trip, my cat knocked out my internet and I DC'd and was killed once again. Very, very shortly, I think maybe even just the day after getting my Elite Tectonic, and I lost my Elite Tectonic mask and legs. These are just normal Tectonic pieces that I made, I think I was using these when I was doing ED2 for the Draconic Energy. And I did keep the Elite Tectonic Rope Top, and I think my EOF and one other thing I don't remember. But yeah, it that pretty much killed my motivation for the account for the most part. It was pretty brutal death, and I lost a lot of progress there. I lost, I think, a rune pouch or something. But yeah, also just being on 1 life left kind of had me demoralized. Just one more death from an uncontrollable DC or something like that. Like I technically should have lost my hardcore status, I guess you could say, at Virago, but since it was my mistake. But with the DC, there's not a lot you can do sometimes. I, of course, now lock my cats out of the basement whenever I'm doing PVM. But yeah, at that point, even when I had already died once, I had already made McCheeserson as a backup and started working on him. And then I ended up working on him quite a bit and then getting, of course, the full Revenant Dragon pet from Revenants back when PvP was still enabled. And yeah, started working on that account. And then when I died the second time on this account, I pretty much decided to maybe start working a bit more on my other hardcore and not use this one as much, but still play it here and there. And eventually it ended up that McCheeserson is now just way, way better than this account. This account's still level 1 Necromancy. And at the point that I'm at, I'd pretty much almost rather make a new account than train this one up in Necromancy and stuff like that. Just because I kind of like making new accounts. It's kind of fun. And additionally, I'd have to train up Necromancy either way. And it'd be kind of fun to see how the new account experience is like with Necromancy and stuff like that. But also, of course, that new account would then have full lives remaining. So that would be another big benefit. But yeah, this is kind of going to be I'm just going to go through a little bit of what I've done on the account now and my bank and stuff, because I'm pretty much considering this account fully retired at this point. I think I'm going to transfer some of the wealth off of it onto my main, particularly something like this Third Age die, which I got on like my 50th Elite Clue Scroll. That's worth something above 10 bill right now, I think, and that could be nice to have on my main for future updates and stuff. So yeah, I'll probably be transferring that over. I don't know about anything else. That's my main concern right now. How much is this thing anyway? 200 mil. Yeah. I'll have to look through the bank and see if there's anything else I really care that much about the wealth amount to transfer over. Maybe the Barrows dies as well, but that's pretty much my plan, is to transfer stuff off of this account onto my main and pretty much consider this account retired. But Yeah, I guess we can quickly go through the bank. First, this is the gear tab. I had pretty good gear. I didn't have trimmed masterwork yet, but full masterwork, and then I had all the Rax weapons, full Serenic, and then the Tectonic as well. Some notable good items in here. I had a Seismic Wand, of course. I had a Grimoire from Solak, which was very nice. Got the Bic Scripture pretty early on. The Golden Party Hat is pretty cool. And I do have one of each Zuck cape, which was quite nice as well. Then we have the herbs and seeds, which is a nightmare to look at considering I don't have a seed bag on this account. But a bit of a relic of old PVM days. I have almost 8K grimy dwarfweeds, almost 6.6K, basically like 10K lanthodimes from God Wars 2, I think, when they used to drop a ton of grimy herbs. This is no longer what you'd get. You'll end up getting seeds, which wouldn't even convert to this many herbs, I don't believe, if you grow them with the new system. But yeah, that's kind of funny to see. But other than that, nothing super interesting in here, just a standard farming tab, I guess. Potions, I have quite a lot of brews, pretty decent stock of potions. I'm 109 Herblore only, so pretty far behind on Herblore on this account as well. But yeah, I did make overload salves on this account, which was kind of not worth it. I'm mostly just going with Elder Overloads normal in the future. But yeah, pretty standard average potion tab. No adrenaline renewals, which is pretty bad to be missing nowadays. But overall, not too bad. But nothing special either. Runes and teleports, nothing too interesting there. Quite a lot of blood runes, honestly. I think I crafted those for my pouches, of course, the rune pouches. Really low astral runes actually, but yeah, bought runes daily for a decent amount of time on this account, so got a good stock of those. But I don't know, not too spectacular. I don't even have all the task sets completed. I guess Mauritania Legs 2, embarrassing. Karamja Gloves 3. Clue tab, which is pretty interesting because I have the Third Age die and the Barrows die. Other than that, nothing too worth calling out. I did get a Soul Ornament and Reaper Ornament, so I have a ornament kit on my EOF. Where's my stupid... Oh, I have it in my inventory. I was looking at it earlier, but these are what the stats look like. 390 hards, 219 elites, and 115 masters. And those have all been opened. I don't have any caskets left over, so... Yeah, nothing super interesting, but pretty cool clue tab. Skilling tab. Almost out of pure essence. Don't have my ore spirits in my ore box since that wasn't a functionality available. Tons of bird meat from buying that stuff daily for a while. Do of course have a Grace of the Elves. A lot of raw fish from PVM, but I mean nothing super standout. I guess I did broad arrows for fletching. That's interesting. I don't even remember that. But yeah, not a lot of like tetras or anything. I did most of that stuff when I was training up my archaeology to 200 mil, since the complete tomes were pretty good XP. Quite a lot of BGH meets. I'm a big fan of BGH, which is another reason I'm really looking forward to the skilling boss. BGH is kind of like that. Normal loot tab, just like the normal drops you get. 58 onyxes is quite a lot, and decent amount of Elder God Wars stuff, but not a ton. Not a whole lot worth pointing out in here, just kind of your general drop tab. 30 igneous stones. I did do a decent amount of Zuck on this account, trying to go... I think I did it for like Reapers, and I was trying to get Magma Tempest, but I never got it. Also, I have 59 Grimoire pages, so a decent amount of Grimoire. That's probably worth a lot of money. Yeah, 4.8 mil for those still nowadays, but yeah, not too bad of a... Wow, a lot of inert adrenaline crystals. I wonder where I got those. Croesus flakes, yeah. So yeah, pretty decent tab, but nothing special really. My trophies tab, I have the Beastmaster Durzag pet and the Raksha pet in here for some reason. I also got a purple mushroom from Solak. Just sort of the drops I've accumulated. Not very many DK rings for the upgraded ones. Not a lot of God Wars 1 items in here either. Or God Wars 2. I mean, I didn't really... Or I guess I had disassembled a lot of this stuff for components. But yeah, decent amount of racks drops. I did a lot of racks on this account, or a decent amount of racks, and then the next stuff. So nothing super special. Greater Conch. My old leftover Revenants tab. I've got 4 leftover stat hammers, and then junk. Although an interesting thing in here are these combat training dummies. When weekly challenges first released, you were able to get you were able to get these in one for 1 week on one of the rewards, and they were then removed and disabled from Iron Man. So if you didn't get them in that part of the release, you wouldn't be able to have these on an Iron Man. So it's kind of a cool item to have in my bank that I would never want to use up. Other than that, yeah, not a whole lot else worth mentioning in the junk tab, I wouldn't say. And yeah, that's the bank. Quickly can look at the boss kills, the ones worth mentioning. Can I move these things around a little bit? Yeah, I'll do that just for this. Of course, as you see, the first one that's selected, Rax, I did complete the log. I got pretty lucky. I think I got the base pet before any other drops. So I've completed the log in only 500 KC. Never did Archglaze or hard mode on here. Of course, we had the 65 ED1 or ED2 runs. Barrow's barely done anything. Just got the Malevolent Energy a little bit from Rots. Of course, this log is completed. The Chaos Elemental. That took 1259 kills to get the pet, and then did Revenants. I have 24 Beastmaster Durzag kills on here. Did those every now and then whenever looting was available. And I think I only have 1 codex or something. Oh, 2 codexes. I think I used my first one on Onslaught stupidly when that used to be good. And then the second one I used on Corruption Blast for Mage. But yeah, not very good luck there, I guess, or maybe it is. I don't know the drop rates too well. Where were we? Yeah, Chaos Elemental. Never went to Sarah God Wars or Corp. Crosis, all I have is the Bic book in 133 KC, which is pretty unlucky since I got contribution on pretty much all of those. DKs, this is 913 kills. Log, no Seer's Ring, kind of funny. Again, Dragonkin Lab we saw earlier. General Grardor, didn't really do much of him, 154 kills. I don't think I killed any giant mole. 4 giant mole, maybe for an early Reaper. Gregorovic I didn't kill. Hellweir I did complete the log of in 661 KC. I think a little bit lucky for that pet as well. 4 wands, 3 orbs, and 3 crests. Hermod, of course, I haven't done. I'm 1 Necro. KK I never did either. KQ 4 KC, again, probably a Reaper. Care Pack normal mode, I thankfully did get the Greater Conch at 58 KC. And I think it took me less than that. I don't remember when I got it, but it was a really big drop at the time. Nowadays, not so concerning, but when I got it, it was super big. And then I did 70 hard mode. I think those were all trios, and I did miss 1 staff piece. But yeah, those were trios with my friends. So yeah, didn't do any solo hard mode care pack. KBD, nothing. Kriara, I killed 461 and got 4 bucklers and then 4 other drops. So pretty classic. Zami, I am just missing the boots and the pet. I've got 1290 kills there and 41 in hard mode for some reason. Legio's never killed. Again, raids there. Magister I didn't get high enough Slayer for. Next, we looked at earlier, 253 KC. AOD I never got around to doing. QBD just missing the kite and the pet at 114 KC. Raksha, I did get Laceration and Blast Diffusion boots from him. I think I lost the Blast Diffusion boots when I died. I'm not sure though. But I did get the Laceration boots and the pet at 31 duos, 14 solos. Raziel, of course, no. Never did Rex Matriarchs at all. Sanctum just came out, of course. Did I do any ED3? I don't think so. Ambassador, no. Did never do any ED3. Solok, how many kills did I do to get this Grimoire and purple thing? Only 56 kills, so that's probably pretty lucky, right? Not sure. Telos, I did actually do a little bit. I have 21 KC. I think I'm still on that streak probably. ED1 I never did. Twins, I got 6 offhand or 6 main hand blades and 3 offhand. I think those are that. And then 2 crests in just about 700 kills there. Zuck, 34 kills, 34 stones and nothing else. Never did hard mode. This is just whatever. Vindicta, I did 380 kills, got 3 lances, 2 crests in that. And then Virago, of course, we had the 93 KC there with the wand and the energy. No Zami, no Zemregal. So Yeah, and then I'm not going to go over them all, but these are the Slayer creature kills on here. Quite high, honestly. Decent amount of Abyssal Demons. Over 1k Erets. 2k Celestial Dragons, wow. 3.5k Corrupted Creatures. Yeah, quite a few Slayer creature kills on here. 1,500 Vile Blooms. I believe that was all on task with no boot drop. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this account, I guess. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a retrospective on it. I'm like 106 mining, 101 smithing, 109 herblore, 110 slayer, 117 farming, 104 dunge, and I did get 120 archaeology and invention, of course. And yeah, probably never going to play on this account again, I would assume. But I hope you guys enjoyed, those of you who were interested in this little bit of a retrospective of me going through it, just as a kind of a final farewell. It'll stay on a membership to hold my place on the high scores there. I'm not too concerned about keeping a member for that, especially when I can hop on it and play old school if I do ever want to do that. And yeah, it was a fun journey on this account, but those deaths where I lost a lot of items were really demoralizing, which pushed me to make a different account that I restarted on pretty much. And that has far, far eclipsed the progress I made on this account at this point. So I see pretty much no reason to ever go back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Really looking forward to the skilling boss, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out.